Ade Oladipo for Pro Boxing Fan with the man himself, Sky's Adam Smith. Adam, weigh-ins is coming. We done the press conference today, but the public workout yesterday. We're getting closer to it. We're getting a lot closer.
Yeah, fight weeks are all about the build-up, aren't they? All about the debate, the last-minute thoughts, swinging one way then the other way. It's a fantastic fight. It's a wonderful rematch. It's the biggest fight of the year for us and probably around the world in the heavyweight division. So, look, it's a pick-em for me. It's Anthony Joshua. Back to basics. He's obviously taken weight off. He looks light. He looks calm. They've obviously worked very hard with different sparring partners in camp. They've locked him away. Andy Ruiz, 12 weeks this time, over double the amount of notice he had. I saw him in LA a few weeks ago. He's exactly the same as he is now. He's totally confident. He's not coming to give up these belts without a real fight, and I believe it means as much to him as it does Anthony Joshua. The pressure is on AJ, obviously, because a bad defeat here would be really damaging for his career, whereas Andy can fight more as a sort of happy fighter and a champion. But they both want this, and I don't think there's any way we can predict what's going to happen, which makes it so compelling.
Are you surprised, considering what happened in the first fight and how it happened, that Andy Ruiz is a massive underdog? Well, not massive, but an underdog as well again.
Yeah, I am actually. I'm really surprised. I chatted with Eric Molina yesterday, and he said, look, people keep saying, can Andy Ruiz win? Well, he's already won. He already won, and he won really comfortably. So I think it's a 50-50 fight. My great friend and colleague Johnny Nelson went viral a few weeks ago saying he was 1,000% sure Anthony Joshua was going to win. I believe he's even bought T-shirts along with him. I wonder if he's having second thoughts, because Andy Ruiz's speed in the workout yesterday was evidence of, that he's got a great boxing IQ. He's got a real method of distracting Joshua, I think, at times in this fight. And you don't know, is AJ going to go out and try and put the fight to him and get behind his jab and unleash a right hand and hurt him early, or is he going to go on the back foot and try and outbox him at distance, utilize the physical reach advantages he has? Ruiz surely is going to just apply a lot of heat, a lot of pressure. I think he'll throw a lot of body shots. And then there's the back of my mind, it's like rematches, immediate ones often go the same way, and they often go more dramatically than the first one. So are we talking about a Ruiz winning 3 rounds, or are we talking about what happened with Lennox Lewis and Hasim Rahman, and 5 rounds he gets knocked out, and then in 4 rounds he exacts revenge? So it's a fascinating one. I don't think anyone can tell you what's going to happen.
It's strange with AJ. I mean, a lot of people have said possible changes being made in terms of maybe a different game plan coming into this fight, going back to boxing, maybe like he did in the Olympics. Can you make those changes in the space of only 5 or 6 months?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I think if the situation had been different, he had to obviously evoke the rematch clause, and I think if he'd had more time, like Lennox did, like Vladimir did when he lost to Corey Sanders, to rebuild, have a couple of confidence warm-ups, I think that probably would have been better, to try out new things. I don't know what he's really changed dramatically. He's brought new people in under Rob. He's obviously dropped the weight. He looks more lithe, which is probably good for him. Does that mean a slight reduction in power? Possibly. Does that mean that he'll be lighter on his feet? Certainly in the workout you saw the quads, the thigh muscles, the strength of his legs, which I thought was really interesting. So they've done a lot of running, a lot of boxing, and it's a bit back to basics with Anthony. So I don't know. It's the proof's in Saturday night. If it doesn't work, then obviously they're going to have a real look at what they're doing, and maybe change what they have started, and keep some momentum with it, and rebuild. But I don't know. It may be a great turnaround. It might just be fine-tuning, or it might be a real change. We'll find out again on Saturday. The truth, as they say, is always in the ring. They can do whatever you like in sparring, in preparation. You can look great on the pads, but fundamentally it's a fight. And the one thing that worries me for Joshua fans is that Andy Ruiz has been a fighter since he was 6 years old, and he knows no other way. He's a warrior. He could be beaten. Joseph Parker showed it. Anthony Joshua, let's not forget, knocked him down and and hurt him. First ever knockdown for Ruiz, and before he got into serious trouble in that fight. So he can be hurt and he can be possibly stopped himself. My feeling is, maybe Joshua's got to take the fight to him early, because I think if Ruiz grows in confidence and that momentum, and he keeps working that body, I think it could be a tough night again for Joshua. Whatever happens, I think it's going to be a dramatic fight, and if you want a trilogy, it would be great if Joshua wins and then you can go again. Or I see something really dramatic in this. Maybe both going down again, and who's going to win it? I'm surprised about the odds though, because Ruiz has won it before. But for Joshua, he just needs to wipe the memories out and go and treat it as a whole new fight. And I'm sure that's what he's going to do.
I guess you never know when a fighter like Joshua, almost kind of similar to Prince Nassim Hamed when he lost to Barrera, he came back, wasn't the same. You never know how they're going to react to a loss. Joshua's just been dominant, really. I mean, apart from the Klitschko fight, he's been knocking people over almost when he wants. He's now faced adversity. He's changed a few things. I guess what question I'm really trying to get at here is, if he does lose in the rematch, I know he spoke to you and he said he will continue. Does he continue if he loses again?
That's a question I wanted to ask him, and I asked him off camera, and he told me that he wants to fight 5-10 more years. I mean, he says he's a fighter, that's what he does. You can look in more depth at this. We say that it was obviously his first defeat in the Garden, but he didn't have a good start against Povetkin. He got wobbled by Dillian Whyte. He was probably a couple of punches away from losing against Vladimir, and he lost in the amateurs 3 times, and the Olympics wasn't a completely smooth ride. So if you look at that, there are other defeats and other negatives for Joshua. What he has done is he's actually been a pro for not that long, an amateur for not that long, and he's managed to get unified belts and do some incredible things in boxing already, and beat some really tough fighters, as well as obviously being a marketing dream. So he's achieved so much. He's almost transcended boxing. He's brought a whole new audience, a new fan base in. He's brought fighters up with him, and the scene is absolutely buzzing. So we could look at it and say maybe Joshua has got faults that haven't been ironed out, and that's what exposed him in the Andy Ruiz fight. Or maybe that he finds a way to win like he did against Klitschko. It just wasn't his night in New York, and this time he'll get it right. And if he does do it in 4, 5, 6 rounds, and it's a stunning knockout, and Joshua's back up there, he's telling me he's not going to celebrate. He says that it's expected, that it's not this huge moment that we're all saying it is. I mean, I find that quite surprising, because I think it would be an incredible thing if he can sort of get the win after that dramatic loss. But yeah, look, it's a difficult one. I think if he does lose in dramatic fashion, it's a long way back. He'll fight on, of course he will, unless he's made a lot of money, unless he just has a complete change of direction. But my feeling is he'll want to come back. He'll fight back in London, I'm sure, and they'll rebuild. And there's still big fights out there for him. I mean, Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury probably want him more than ever if he's lost a couple of times. But let's just wait till Saturday. One step at a time. He's only focused on Andy Ruiz. If he wins his belts back, it's obviously great for British boxing, but Andy Ruiz is a wonderful story himself. First Mexican heavyweight champion. Looking at him, no aesthetic look. He gives a lot of people a lot of hope and a lot of confidence. And I think the one thing is, though, that Andy Ruiz is going to give it absolutely everything in the ring. He's left his kids at home. They're back in school. He's brought a lot of people with him. He's not come here to hand over the belts. He will give it an absolute fight from beginning to end. And Anthony Joshua's got to be ready for that. Is he good enough? Is he as good as we think he could be? Is he as good as we hope he could be? We don't know. And as you said with Prince Nassim Hamed, never the same after the Barrera fight, that one fight. He again told me before the Manuel Calvo fight he was going to fight 8 times a year. It was going to go on a road tour. Never happened. He didn't have the timing. He beat Calvo, didn't have the timing, and just sort of thought, that's it, I've lost it. Can't see that with Anthony Joshua. I think he'll fight on whatever happens, but it's going to be a tough road back if he loses.
I guess either way, it's going to be good for the fans. Let's quickly touch on the undercard. Some great fights in the undercard. Probably going kind of almost undetected, if you like. I mean, Hunter versus Povetkin's a fantastic fight.
Yeah, listen, it's great for the fans, the whole card. I mean, it's a heavyweight night. It's brilliant. I love that Povetkin Hunter fight. I think it's a real clash of styles and ages, and is Povetkin at that right time to be taken by someone like Hunter, or as he showed against Hughie Fury, he's got plenty left in the tank. He's a very, very experienced, very good, very dangerous operator. Hunter's been a breath of fresh air in the heavyweight division. People questioning whether he's got the size, but he's certainly got the skills, the talent, and he's got the backing with someone like Hasim Ratman behind him. I like Michael Hunter. I like him in and out of the ring. I think he's going to enjoy this fight, and we'll find out what Alexander Povetkin has left. I see it as a long fight. I see it as a close fight and a really good clash of styles and a lovely chief support. We've also got Dillian Whyte, who we're delighted to have back against Mariusz-Wach, and that's a tough enough fight to come back to with just a few weeks' notice. Dillian's been waiting around. He's had difficulties out of the ring. He's itching to get back in, and he should come through, Wach, of course. And it may be, again, how quickly can he get to him? Bacoli stopped him late. Can he get to him early? But I like it. You've got Hrgovic as well, who's a fantastic talent. It's and then people like Hobie Price and Pacheco getting floats or swings on the night. It's great. It's a fantastic top to bottom card, and we can't wait.
There we go. Sky's Adam Smith breaking it down for us perfectly as always. Adam Smith, thank you very much.